place is hopping. There's something going on all the time.
Our kids are just involved in so many activities.
And we have this downtown history.
I think the Hume-Fogg student culture is extremely welcoming.
I did not stay at this place because the kids were smart.
The love of diverse backgrounds.
And they continue to inspire me every day.
You cannot put Hume-Fogg students in a box.
Students can show the diversity of their talents.
Pretty much everyone at Hume-Fogg has a place. Wherever they find themselves, they excel at that.
We want to help you reach all of the heights that you can reach.
Whatever you do, whatever you love, whatever you're passionate about, we all understand that, we all appreciate that.
Every child in America, in Nashville, should have the right to have a magnet school education.
I think just knowing that we were all there together and in it together, I think that's what made it work.
At the time of the Civil War, Fogg and Hume were very, very good friends. One was the principal of a high school. The other was the superintendent of schools, the first superintendent of schools. And they went to Boston and studied the classical Boston School, which was the first public high school in the country. And that became a model that throughout the 19th century, schools began following. And that was a 4-year curriculum of Latin, English, science, math, and history. They returned from Boston. They were there approximately a year and came back and anticipated the building of a high school, one for women and one for men. And it remained that way until about the time of World War I. And that's when Hume-Fogg was actually built. They combined 2 high schools into one. As you came in, they separated. The women went one direction and men went the other.
You know, you got sent to the principal's office if you walked down the hall with a boy. They didn't like any of that kind of going on, but it did anyway.
And between World War I and World War II, it became a vocational high school because the soldiers coming back had to earn a trade.
It wasn't just a school that taught you how to change the oil in your car. That's not what happened here. They made them work hard. They held their feet to the fire. And if those students were not serious, they shipped them back out.
When we became technical vocational at World War II, it was a big boom to Nashville. So we had vocational courses, automotive mechanic, machine shop, radio and television, commercial art, commercial food, business courses, so that the kids could get jobs, good jobs after high school.
And so with the civil rights movement that picked up in the late 50s and into the 60s, you have the desire to change Hume-Fogg and the school system in Nashville. In 1983, the courts ruled that Nashville needed to desegregate its schools.
It had technically started a couple of years before that with a 7th and 8th grade school that was to go through the 12th grade, which was located at West End. And prior to that, I was on a committee studying it, and initially I was not in favor of it. You know, private schools with public money, kind of thing. But after I studied it, I realized what it could offer to public school students if it were done right. And of course, I thought I was the person to do that.
We talked a lot with the little time we had about what the program was going to look like. And I realized then that the most important job that a principal can do is to hire the best teachers to work with those children. But when we made our final selections of that original 13, there was no question at all that they were the ones who were going to start what Hume-Fogg eventually became.
And so once the board bought it as a part of the desegregation plan at that time, they let me go with the idea, but wanted to start with the 7th and 8th grade and then build it up. So that's what we did. Except the night before it opened, the court stopped not just it, but the whole systems, which was a devastating time.
Because of the court-ordered stay on that desegregation plan, the school did not open. We were given the choice, and we decided to stay together at West End at that time and do what we could to salvage the program that we had tried to put together. I think that was successful to a great extent, even though we had to deal with a number of the staff there that were not in the ones selected for the Hume-Fogg staff or even the West End staff.
But once the court thing got settled, the court decided there would be a magnet school, and this was the only one they had really set up. But the board had changed. The board was originally a pretty professional group of people who were appointed. They were appointed by the mayor. But then it went to an elected school board, and they were not enthused about it, but the court said you will do it. So they said, okay, put them in that building downtown. We don't know what to do with it. We can't close it. And so Dr. Seth L. Smith and myself went down. They appointed us in April, said open the school in September. Okay.
There was time blocked in the summer for all of the selected faculty to get together, and it was very much a small school initiative.
We all respected each other and had a wonderful plan what we were doing with this new school.
Just this type of chemistry, history, English, mathematics, academia, and everyone being fairly literate about what the others did. It was perfect for us to start a faculty for the new school.
To get pleasure and joy out of the act of thinking, reflecting, analyzing, to be intellectually engaged, I wanted to see a school where that was the atmosphere.
What was known in Harvard at the time as exhibits were presentations in Hume-Fogg, and they had to have a computer element, a dramatic element, a creative element, an artistic element, and an essay element. When you just take a test, it means nothing to you except a grade. But when you write an essay, when you paint a painting based on the Scarlet Letter, and that is as important, something you made from your own creativity, as the test you took, then you're getting an education. Alan Kaplan and I read every essay out loud to each other on Sundays.
We would read them out loud to each other and go through each one individually and talk about it and take it apart and put comments. This was fun, and it's what we did. And no, you don't quit at 5.
Even when Alice Sanford and I team taught, we would make sure that we read and made sure that we were on the same note, because one would be teaching while the other one would be grading, so that we could have a life at home with children. And we didn't, we had cats, but the same way. Then, of course, our junior year, what did we do when we taught Thoreau? We went to Radnor Lake and had a Thoreau day. Pretty soon, the biology teacher, the chemistry teacher, the art teacher came in to make that a whole day of multimodal tearing down the walls of the classrooms.
We had a curriculum that would have choked a horse. I mean, it was incredible. And you guys just did it. It was like, okay. And you did it. And it was like, whoa. It was amazing to watch. It's a miracle that we didn't kill more of you. I mean, it really is. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. We were delighted.
We have so many intelligent kids who come into this school, right? They tested into here, they made the scores to get into the building to begin with. But every student in this building at some point is going to be challenged.
One of the best things that we as teachers can do for students is to just listen, not to ease up on the rigor, but to acknowledge that, yes, sometimes things do get difficult, but to be supportive instead of accusing or blaming. We know what you can do, and we want to help you reach all of the heights that you can reach.
So I think we all live in this space at Hume-Fogg of being very uncomfortable, but it's in that discomfort that we learn to become comfortable with each other and learn more from each other and embrace those differences.
The difference in their ability levels from the beginning of the year to the end of the year, it's always nice to kind of see them realize how much better they are.
Loving the accomplishment of where they are, but that journey, to see those light bulb moments, to see the kids finally get a dance step, to see them finally memorize their lines, those are the moments you live for. We offer a huge range, a broad range of sports.
I love that we compete on such a high level in so many sports. 400 plus people on my list, and there's only 900 kids in the building.
tons of kids who do a ton of stuff with band even outside of school.
There is mid-state and all-state. There's also performance opportunities at the Capitol or at the Tennessee Museum.
I mean, we not only play classical, but we play pop, jazz, fiddling. We do a little bit of everything.
We have kids who do dance. We have kids who do different type of art projects. But then we also have a thriving theater arts department now.
I've been a professional actor for many years myself, so I try to run the rehearsals and try to provide as a professional atmosphere as possible, so it's not so much of a change when they get out into the real world.
Our music program run by Miss Forbis, which is phenomenal with our Blue Notes.
They will have an amazing time. Every day we get to get outside of our body. Oh my gosh, I can sing.
And that's just like the arts, and that's just sports. We're not even talking about academics.
We teach real problem-solving methodology here. By the end of the year, students see, oh, it's a different problem, but if I follow the process that we've been practicing all year, I can do it.
What kind of moves do writers make? What kind of moves do I make as a writer? What kind of rules can we break and that be okay, right?
Everyone should study and understand history because understanding that story helps them understand how the world around them works.
It doesn't have to be math related, but just that skill of thinking critically and asking the right questions.
What we want to do is we want to open up every student's view of the world so that they are not only knowledgeable, but also they feel experientially accessible to those other cultures.
I tell the parents and the new children that are looking at coming to the castle, if you don't take care of your body, nothing else really matters. So I'm a little partial, but I think our class is the most important.
Can't say no to y'all. We want y'all to be able to do whatever you want. And if we could figure out a way to do it, we're going to do it.
The thing that moves me the most is the character that is demonstrated by Hume-Fogg students. I think it's beautiful that Hume-Fogg students allow everyone, teachers, staff, students, family members, everybody is welcomed here.
Walking through the halls, or you show up at an event and you hear people singing the alma mater with such pride and joy. That doesn't happen in other places.
Everyone can be who they are and be accepted for who they are. If you are good at something, if you put effort into something, people will really celebrate you.
You don't have to just be one kind of person. You have some freedom to kind of explore who you are here.
Whatever you do, whatever you love, whatever you're passionate about, I think we're all like that. We all understand that. We all appreciate that.
They want each other to be successful on a quiz, and I love it. I think it's so great.
We're all in this together, and we're going to help each other through this. I see that all the time.
I am invested in the lives of the students that I teach and the kids that I coach, but they are, in a lot of ways, equally invested in my life as well.
If somebody needs a charger for their computer, then students are going to step up and help out.
The number of times I have seen students cheering for each other.
I've seen students comforting other students when they're stressed or advocating for their peers. And so I do think that students are very, very kind.
I had some things happen at the beginning of the year this year, and I cannot tell you how appreciative I was. My students just rallied around to support me like I tried to do for them.
There were so many times that we could just walk out into the downtown community together. That was just a sense of total independence, but there was an interdependence about the group.
We're all in this, literally that high school musical. We're all in this together.
The family term is used a lot around Hume-Fogg, and I think it is very important, and it is very, very true. Everybody really supports each other and cares for each other, and hopefully I'm bringing people together.
I think just knowing that we were all there together and in it together, and really depended on each other, I think that's what made it work.
Please like and subscribe and hit that notification bell at the bottom.